Commuters are back to facing rush hour struggles today. To accommodate the higher passenger volume, some PUV drivers decided to operate in full capacity. A group of volunteers previously supporting the presidential bid of Senator Manny Pacquiao is now backing Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. Pacquiao's camp remains unfazed though, saying they're glad to cut ties with this group. A disqualification case has been filed against presidential aspirant and former Senator Bongbong Marcos. This is still in connection to a tax evasion case that Marcos was convicted for back in 1995. And the Commission on Elections assures that the election process will not be tampered with by following the deal or after their deal with Dennis Uy-linked F2 Logistics. And new COVID-19 cases fall to the lowest since March at 2,300 today. Only 2 regions in the country remain under moderate risk. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. More and more commuters are back on the roads after the long weekend. To tell us more, we have Mon Gualvez joining us live from Cubao. Mon, how's the traffic situation over there in Cubao?
Sean, after the long weekend, the volume of vehicles has gone back to normal. More people are seen commuting, which led to some PUV to operate in full capacity even 2 days before the implementation of the increased passenger capacity.
Some commuters waited to get a ride this morning in Monumento. The queue of people managed to reach and loop around the first station of the EDSA bus carousel, passing the footbridge, and even reaching the next street near the station. Despite this, the lines were fast-moving as buses continued to arrive. In Litex Commonwealth, many commuters occupied the lanes of the main thoroughfare just to wait for their ride. When buses and UV Express vans stopped by, the crowd immediately ran towards the vehicles. People in line also waited patiently for jeepneys to come along in Philcoa, Quezon City. Others stood waiting for nearly an hour.
Medyo mahirap pa rin yung transport. Kanina pa ako nag-abang, wala.
Wala.
Sunog na yung balat mo, wala pa rin. Mahirap. Dapat siguro, ipayagan na yung mga jeep na magbiyahe na rin. Yung mga hindi nakakabiyahe.
On Thursday, the commuting situation may start to get better as the Transportation Department allows up to 70% passenger capacity. However, some were already operating in full capacity without the plastic barriers previously imposed.
Tinatanggal na namin kasi yung iba tinatanggal na talaga eh.
Kasi may virus daw, sabi tanggalin na yung luma. Kaya tinanggal ko.
The Octa Research Group has backed the increased capacity for public transportation.
Yung recommendation namin na USEC ay restrict sana yan to mga fully vaccinated na passengers. Pero sa ngayon naman, kung sa Metro Manila ay malapit na tayo, nasa 96% na tayo may first dose. It means na siguro yung adults natin, malapit na tayo sa 100% fully vaccinated na adults sa Metro Manila. So kung puro adults yung sasakay dyan, ay most likely fully vaccinated na lahat.
The DOTR believes that the increased seating capacity will result to more income for drivers and operators. However, the agency is appealing to stakeholders not to use the oil price hike as an excuse to operate at 100% capacity.
Sean, as of this time, there are just few commuters who are waiting for their turn to ride the bus here in Main Avenue Station in Quezon City. This scenario is very much different from the usual jam-pack of people in the past weeks during this rush hour. According to some IAC personnel, fast moving of line is because of the additional buses being deployed here in EDSA Bus Carousel. These are provincial buses which are called rescue buses. And for its part, the LTFRB is expected to release tomorrow the guidelines for the 30-day trial on increased seating capacity of PUVs in Metro Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal. Sean?
Right, thank you so much for that update. That was Mon Gualvez of News 5 reporting to us from on the ground in Cubao. Thanks, Mon. The camp of Senator and presidential aspirant Manny Pacquiao has welcomed MP Nation's withdrawal of support. Pacquiao's campaign manager, Buddy Zamora, has accused the group's leader, Danny Enriquez, of being an imposter and engaging in money-making schemes within the campaign. MP Nation has already changed its name to IM4P, or Isko Moreno for president. The group noted infighting in PDP Laban, which affected Pacquiao's campaign. A poll watchdog is urging the Comelec to cancel its contract with a firm that has ties to businessman and known Duterte ally Dennis Uy. However, the Comelec assures that election results cannot be tampered with by any logistics firm. Jen Calimon with the report.
The Commission on Elections has formally signed a 536 million peso deal with F2 Logistics for the transportation of election-related materials for the 2022 polls. This is part of the 1.6 billion peso logistics contract awarded to the firm last August. F2 will be in control of warehousing and delivery of election equipment like ballots, ballot boxes, voters list, vote counting machines, as well as other paraphernalia. However, poll watchdog Contradaya wants the government to cancel the contract because of the firm's ties to Davao-based businessman Dennis Uy. Uy was one of the major contributors to President Duterte's campaign in 2016.
Bagamat masasabi mo na legal itong kontratang ito, inappropriate pa rin ito at wala talagang sense of delicadeza itong kumpanya ni Dennis Uy.
Contradaya fears that this deal might be prone to electoral sabotage. Convener Danilo Araw said that while vote tampering may not happen, physical damage during the transport of equipment could still occur.
If you are able to control an important aspect of the automated election system, tapos ang may control dito ay kumpanya na may direct links sa Malacanang, that's where the problem lies.
But the Comelec assures that the logistics firm has no capacity to manipulate election results.
Kung magtatamper siya, even in transit, madidiscover ka agad. Again, because the machine will print a zero report. Logistics provider, the one that is in charge of deployment, will not be able to affect the outcome of the elections.
Comelec said the contract will be terminated if the firm fails to fulfill its obligation. For its part, the National Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, appeals to both Comelec and F2 to remain transparent on all processes related to elections preparations.
Kailangan ilathala siguro ng Comelec yung schedule, yung delivery schedules, no? At kung saan dadalhin itong mga election machines and paraphernalia in time for the elections para nga mabantayan ng ordinaryong mamamayan.
Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
Presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos is now facing a disqualification case filed by former Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio and other petitioners. This case is based on Marcos's prior conviction for tax evasion involving moral turpitude. Back in 1995, Marcos was found guilty of failing to file and pay for his income tax returns from 1982 to 1985. The Court of Appeals has removed imprisonment from his penalties, leaving only fines. However, the Comelec says there is no clear case as yet for Marcos's disqualification. Marcos's camp said they will be looking into the petition first before giving any comments. We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here. Watching One News Now, I'm Sean Yao. Dennis Uy's Udana Corporation has defended its takeover of Malampaya, saying the transaction was completely above board. Company spokesperson attorney Raymond Zorilla pointed out that for such transactions, no law exists requiring the government's approval for the transfer of shares. As a result, neither party has the legal ability to rescind the sale of Chevron's and Shell stakes to Udena. Zorilla added that the share sales went through a strict bidding process. Dennis Uy, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi, and other officials are currently facing graft complaints over this issue. Petitioners insist that the deal had cost the government billions of pesos in losses. The PBA has announced that list of imports for the Governor's Cup, and it is now complete. Commissioner Willie Marshall said the league was given a special permit by the Foreign Affairs Department to allow the entry of foreign players. Teams are also encouraged to get vaccinated imports to avoid longer quarantine protocols. The league is targeting to start the conference by the 3rd or 4th week of November at the Inares Sports Arena in Pasig. Meanwhile, Marshall said the 3x3 League is also set to begin this month. Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines warns some of its members are no longer planning to renew their PhilHealth accreditation. This is because of the state insurer's failure to pay reimbursement claims. The group has been expecting PhilHealth to come up with solutions until last month, but to no avail. Majority of the interim members that will be assigned to the Bangsamoro Transition Authority will be coming from the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said President Duterte will be deciding who will be placed on the 80-man team. The Health Department reports that only the Cordillera Administrative Region and Cagayan Valley remain at moderate risk for COVID-19. New cases today logged in at 2,300, the lowest in 8 months. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.